Let me continue the evolution topic from the natural selection. In the last session, we have taken a couple of discussions about the evolution. Upon that, we have written an exam also. But this session, the second part of evolution began along with the natural selection part. So, who proposed the natural selection? Charles Darwin. That's why he called up as father of evolution. In this session, natural selection, industrial melanism is the concept today. Industrial melanism. What is industrial melanism? Who proposed? When it was contributed by scientists and all we will discuss now. This industrial melanism experiment has been conducted in different aspects. Who conducted this means Bernard Cattenell is the scientist. In 1850 he was conducted. 1850 there was a set of urbanization was not there in the England. There was a complete rural where industrial setup was not there that time. He observed, and what he observed and phenomena everything we will see little later. Now when he was conducted means in 1920 after industrialization set up completely in the England. So conducted with an organism that's simply called moth. That moth scientific name is Bistone butyllaria. So Bistone butyllaria is a common name. For the common name is moth. In that Melanesia and pepper, there are two different colors is taken. Melanesia is nothing but a dark colored moth, simply grey color or black color, whereas peppered moth is a white colored moth. So peppered is white colored moth and dark color moth is Melanesia. This is white colored moth. Done. So in 1850 when there was no good setup of industries, when there is no urbanization in the England, if you see the barks of the tree, nothing but the stem surface is very light color, and whereas if it is the bark of the particular tree, then this is light bark, and here lichens were present. What are lichens? Lichens are pollution indicators. Lichens are association of algae and fungi. Where does the lichens are there on the trees? That means there was no pollution. When in the atmosphere sulfur dioxide and other pollutants are rich, because of that tree barks will become very dark, and because of the presence of such a sulfur dioxides and all, these these lichens will be died. Due to the absence of lichens, we can predict that there was a pollution. When lichens were present, there was no pollution. What I am trying to convey here is, so during 1850, I am talking about 1850s, there was no pollution, so that all the barks of the trees are light in color. On the light, there was peppered moths are present, not, this is peppered moths are present, not Melanesia. Why? So because of their color white on the light color, they do not appear, then easily they can prevent or escape from the predators. Suppose if a bird comes, if it is a dark in color on the white color background, it easily appear to the predators like birds and other carnivores, so that they will catch up from their bark's light background and they become a prey for the predators. So that to escape as a prey, they are continued their color white on the light color background. The white is easily escapable by the predators. As on technology goes up, and in the England when 1920 there was a complete urbanization setup has been done because of the industries. A lot of smoke will be released by the industries. There was a lot of pollutants in the gas. The presence of all these gases, the tree barks are becoming black color. So when does the tree bark becomes black color? Black color. So because by the pollutants, the tree bark become black color. Then this white color moths appear very clearly to the predators like birds. They will catch them. So the magnesia moths are formed. So white color become reduced and black color become increased. Whenever the black color is, so because of this dark background, the melanism moths, nothing but dark moths, due to the same color, they escape from the predators, whereas the white color peppered moths are easily appear. Then when urbanization takes place, which color of moths are increased? Dark is increased. So but in 1850, which color moths are very common? Means white or peppered moths are common to escape from the predators. So the changes occurs in the environment are adapted by the organisms to escape from their prey is a good example for that is acquired characters. So nature will select who can acquire the characters along with the changes occurs in the environment. For that, moth experiment is very good example. Let us see this moth experiment in detail by this video.
Darwin was a famous scientist in the 1800s. He was famous because he came up with an idea that changed the way we think about life on Earth forever. The theory of evolution. Darwin loved animals and studied them all of his life. In 1831, he went on an exciting voyage aboard the ship HMS Beagle. The Beagle visited the coast and islands of South America and Australia, where Darwin observed and collected a wide range of weird and wonderful plants and animals. When he got back to England, he analysed his collection closely. That was when his ideas about evolution started to form. Darwin had found around 15 different species of finch when he was on the Galapagos Islands. He noticed that the birds were similar to other finches in lots of ways, but their beaks were all different shapes. Darwin looked into it further. He realised that the different beaks matched the type of food available on each island. The finches who ate insects had skinny, pointed beaks, so they could pick them up better, and those that ate hard fruits had beaks that were sharp, so they could get through the skin. Darwin decided that there was only one way that this could have happened. The birds must have adapted to their environment over time. This led into another idea, which he called the survival of the fittest. In any environment, plants and animals from the same species show natural variation in their physical characteristics, such as neck length in giraffes. Darwin suggested that those plants and animals best suited to their environment are more likely to survive and pass on their characteristics to their offspring. Over a long period of time, the characteristics of the surviving members of the species will come to predominate. Confused? Take the peppered moth. In London in the early 1800s, 98% of peppered moths had light-coloured bodies. Only 2% were dark. The light moths were very happy because they were the same colour as the trees, which meant that they could easily hide from hungry birds. The dark peppered moths were easy to see and, well, eat. Then came the factories and the smoke of the Industrial Revolution. Many trees turned black with soot, and suddenly it was the dark moths who were able to survive better in their environments. By 1895, the dark peppered moths made up 95% of the population. That's quite a turnaround. The process of natural selection usually takes much longer, but this is a good example of how it works.
The peppered moth is a species of moth found in England. There are two variations of color in the species. Some moths are white with dark speckles, and some moths are dark with light speckles. The peppered moths live in environments with light-colored trees, like birch trees. Which moth do you think has an advantage in this environment? Can you find the moths? There's one more, do you see it? The light-colored moths had an advantage for survival. Their color helped them to blend into their environment and hide from hungry predators like birds. The dark-colored trait was a disadvantage. Moths with this trait were more easily spotted by predators and had a lower chance of survival. Since the light-colored trait had an advantage for survival, it was more commonly seen in the population. This was due to natural selection. Individuals who are best suited for an environment survive longer, reproduce more times, and pass on their genes. Natural selection over many generations can cause noticeable evolutionary changes in a species, and the peppered moth is the perfect example. In the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution took place. Manual labor was taken over by machinery. Factories began to produce goods. These factories were powered by coal. The burning of coal released a lot of pollution. Dark clouds of soot and ash lingered in the air and even settled on the trees. Over time, the once light-colored trees were covered in a layer of dark soot. Which color variation had the advantage after industrialization changed the environment? The dark-colored moths now had the advantage. They were able to blend well into the soiled trees, while the light-colored variation stood out. Light-colored moths were more easily spotted by predators and had a lower chance of survival. They reproduced less often, and the frequency of this trait decreased over time. The dark-colored moths increased in frequency after many successful generations of survival and reproduction. But this story has one more plot twist. It didn't take long for people to realize that air pollution was a major problem. Laws were put into place and factories began to reduce their emissions. The skies were once again clear, and the trees as well returned to their natural light color. As a result, over time, the dark moths decreased in frequency, and the light moths became the more common variation once again. This is evolution by natural selection.
I hope you understand this video. So got the logic, what happened actually become in the situation of industrialization, in the situation of what's called rural areas in the England before 1920. Once 1920 happened, there was a huge change happens in the dark color moths implementation. They were increased dramatically. So experimentally it was collected by J.W. Tutt, and he collected this experiment after 1920. Simply you can imagine that you just have a 200 moths, 100 black and 100 white. In 100 black and 100 white, and you just select the two areas. One is very rural area and forest area where greenery is very good, where lichens are observed. One area you have to take, that is a city, just like a metropolitan Bangalore city, just like that, where pollution is very high, or Delhi and all. So you just release a 50 black and 50 white moths in the rural area, just like a Western Ghats, as well as a 50 black and 50 white in the city, metropolitan city, where pollution is there. Clear? I repeat, 100 black, 100 white are there in your hand. 50 black, 50 white you released in the rural areas. 50 black, 50 white you released in the urban areas. After some weeks, after some months, you just go and collect randomly in both the areas. Firstly, you just go for a rural area where 50 white and 50 black were there. If you collect randomly 100, not the same, their generations are over there. So if you collect average 100, in that 50 will be white, 50 will be dark. In that 75 will be white and 25 will be dark. Means here dark is turning into white. Why? Because there is no pollution. All the birds are light in color. To escape from the predators, few black moths are become white. That's why ratio become 3:1 by white and black. Whereas in this area where in the pollution high content is there in the urban area, after few years or after few months you just go and collect 100 average moths. In that dark becomes 75 and 25 become the 25. The rest of 25 are white. Why? Because here due to the pollution, bark of the trees are becoming very dark color. To escape, these moths are changed white into the dark. That is why here dark becomes 75 and the ratio is 3:1 from the dark and white. So not in both the cases white is developed, not in the both the cases dark or black is developed. According to the situation where pollution is there black is increasing. Where the pollution is not there, white is increasing to escape from their predators is a catchable point over here by one ship. Understand? Now this is what the good example for adaptive radiation also. Now this is a very good example for natural selection. Nature select both the species here according to the situation. Here nature doesn't select white in the urban area. Here nature doesn't select dark in the rural area. According to the situations, they are acquiring characters. This is the story about acquiring characters of natural selection by the simply example called industrial melanism. Because of the industry, smoke, pigmentation of the organisms has been increased. That is what acquired and promoted to their next generation, nothing but offsprings. So that is why it is called industrial melanism. Understand? Thanks for watching and attend the assignment. In the next class, I will be there here with the adaptive radiation.